Born everybody. About 2 weeks back, the cyclone Ditwah it hit Sri Lanka really bad, and especially to the hill country. In the hill country, many lives were lost, homes were destroyed, and people are now rebuilding. And the whole country and everybody internationally are also helping them. At Meshaun Journeys, we are helping tourists plan their perfect holiday, and I want to give them an update on what's happening in the country as is. So tourist sites wise, of course, the usual beaches, of course, from Nigambo to Tangol, the famous beaches of Nigambo, Bentota, Hikkaduwa, Gaul, Mirissa, Valigama, Tangol, they are open. Tourists are enjoying it. The beaches are sunny. The sea is really nice. It's perfectly safe over there. Well, of course, the safari sites. We have some beautiful national parks in the country, some amazing safaris. Those are open as well. Safaris like Yala, Ninneria, Udawalavan, all these places, they have some amazing natural beauties, the safaris happening, and tourists are enjoying it. So, to be honest with you, Sri Lanka is open. It never closed down. Sri Lanka is open and Sri Lanka is functional, and tourists are actually coming into Sri Lanka to enjoy the country. But one thing I want to highlight is the hill country, which has made some international news and which everybody wants to visit as well. It's safe to say that many of the cities in the hill country, cities like Kandy, Nuwara Eliya, Alla, Badulla, Haputale, they are the city wise, they are safe. But the main issue would be the roads that connect these cities. So one thing that badly got damaged is the road networks. So when you take the normal Sri Lankan travel routes for the tourists, the round trip, of course the route from Colombo or airport to Dambulla, Sigiriya, all that, and then through Matale to Kandy, that road is perfect. No issues at all. No disturbances, nothing. But after Kandy, towards Alla, starting from, Ramboda, then Nuwara Eliya, then Alla. Now that road was heavily damaged. So based on that, there is still some disruptions to that road. There are of course alternate roads which tourists take. Even the locals take. This is not only tourists who are disrupted with the traveling, even the locals. So the roads are being cleaned and put to use. And right now, only the light vehicles are allowed to travel in most locations. So cars and vans, yes, perfectly safe to travel. At some locations, it's single lane only, but still, it is being controlled by the disaster management or the police, the traffic, and still it's okay. But buses and the coaches, not so much. No heavy vehicles are allowed because there's still some damage control to do. There's some rebuilding to do to make sure that the safety of the passengers and also the locals in the area needs to be taken care of. And a huge update from Sri Lanka is about the train rides. I know the hill country train ride in Sri Lanka is considered magical and everybody wants to have an experience in that. Especially the train ride from Kandy to Alla, even section by section, like Kandy to Nanuoya, then Nanuoya to Alla. That train ride won't be operational for another few months. And I personally think, I hope, at least by mid 2026, they will be able to get this rolling, the train ride. Because the tracks were heavily damaged. But however, if you are interested in going with the train ride in Sri Lanka, we have the coastal train ride from Colombo up to Beliatta in the Mathura area. The train ride is perfect if you want to experience the Sri Lankan train ride. From one side, you see the beautiful ocean, and the other, the coconut trees and the land area. So, if you are really interested in doing the train ride, that is one option you can do. And one more thing is, when the cyclone hit Sri Lanka, it actually devastated many people, including some tourists. They were sometimes stranded or they were isolated in some cities. But I'm really happy to say that the police, the tourism people, the tour guides, the hoteliers, and also the locals, They all made sure that the tourists safely return back to their countries. They made sure that the routes are open. They helped find the new roads and the connectivities so that the people, the tourists who were trapped or they were not able to move out of these locations, get to the main cities and also to the airport safely. To many, those who have already have planned for a trip to Sri Lanka, you can perfectly travel to Sri Lanka and enjoy many of these locations if you are okay with to go ahead with the hill country roads as well. Because as a DMC, I'm sure every other DMC and travel agent are also taking the precautions necessary for your safety. If you already have the booking, don't cancel. You can still travel to Sri Lanka and enjoy the country. There is the cultural sites, the amazing beaches, the wildlife, even the hill country if you're traveling in a light vehicle. But if you're still planning to visit Sri Lanka, maybe you can skip the hill country if you're not so sure about it, but you can still go ahead with the beaches, the wildlife, and the main cities. So Sri Lanka actually is safe. It is open. It is rebuilding very fast because the cyclone Ditwah was a one-off case. Of course, Sri Lanka right now is very sunny. I'm talking to you from Colombo, so and I have reports from people from every city. Tourists are already moving. There are tours incoming. Tourists are going. The airport is operational. The vehicles, the tour guides, the travel agents, everybody is trying their best and doing their best to make sure that the tourists are safe. So, more than anything, the safety of the tourists is a priority. This is why we are so confident to say that tourists can actually visit the country. There is no issue about that. And no matter what happens, maybe there is a bit of a light rain because this is the monsoonal season here and there, and December, of course, gets a bit of rain. That is very normal to Sri Lanka. At any time, everybody in tourism are focused for your safety to make sure that you are safe. So there could be, detours or rerouting, quick changes in the itinerary if there comes a new update. But right now, the post Cyclone Ditwah scenario, it's rebuilding. Sri Lanka is getting back to normal. Roads are being opened as we speak. About 25,000 people are actually clearing out many of these roads to make sure that transportation, not just for the tourists, but even for the local logistics, transport, everything is back to normal. So just wanted to give you an update because there were so many questions after my previous video asking about your holidays, what you should do, if you should cancel, if you should travel with your honeymoon, the family, friends, everything. So this is one update I want to give to you as of today, the 10th of December in 2025. I born from Colombo.